Hi guys, welcome back to Calvi Homestead. This is Brooke, and today I wanted to show you what you can do with all of those excess cherry tomatoes. I kind of wanted to give you a little peek into the garden and kind of show you just kind of my harvest for the day. This recipe for cherry tomatoes today is actually so good, and it's probably my family's new favorite way to use the cherry tomatoes. So I came out today to harvest a bunch of our cherry tomatoes to make this. Now I'm actually making this for dinner tonight, but I will share with you how to preserve it so you can enjoy the delicious taste of your summer harvest when your tomatoes are out of season. So some of these tomatoes I actually missed, and you can see I throw this one down because they just got overripe and kind of shriveled up. But we're collecting, this is my main cherry tomato plant here. This is a that plant I was just picking off of was a blueberry cream tomato plant, and I'm just kind of showing you what else is in the garden. This is like a little mini watermelon plant, and it's so cute. It only has one melon on it. I actually started this late in the season, so I just thought it was so cute climbing up the fence of the garden. And this here is actually my candy roaster squash, which is probably my favorite winter squash this year. So here is my basket. As you can see, I have a couple different types of cherry tomatoes. I have the cream blueberry and I have the blueberry tomatoes. And then there's a couple other strays in there, which is the pink bumblebee I think I have in there. And then I have this little red tomato here, which was marked as Roma, but it's not a Roma. And then I also harvested some of my lunchbox peppers and of course fresh basil for this recipe. So I just start off by cleaning everything. Basically, I take the stems off, I wash everything off, and just prep it to get ready. So right here I have like a heaping 4 cups of cherry tomatoes. Now I kind of messed up here because for a pound of pasta, I usually use about 6 cups of cherry tomatoes, and I only ended up picking 4 cups, like 4 heaping cups of cherry tomatoes. And I would have normally only made like 3/4 of a pound of pasta with this and then served it with a salad or something like that to make a full meal. Now if you're wanting to make this sauce for a full pound of pasta, I would go ahead and use 6 cups of cherry tomatoes. So here I'm just washing everything up. I love to mix and match the tomatoes I'm using. Especially those blueberry cream tomatoes are so sweet. Most cherry tomatoes are pretty sweet, but these are my favorite cherry tomato of all time are these cream blueberries. They taste like candy. My son calls them tomato candy. These are actually the first year I have grown these. They're the little yellow ones there with the purple on top. And this is the first year I've grown them, and I actually started some for my mom as well. And they are her favorite cherry tomato too. So we will definitely be growing these every year from now on. I do want to try a couple of different cherry tomatoes next year, but these will definitely be in the mix. So yeah, here I am. I'm just washing everything up, getting ready and prepping it for the food or for the meal tonight. And let's skip ahead and I'll show you what to do next after you clean everything up. Okay, so now we're just going to add a little bit of oil to the bottom of your pan and add all of your clean cherry tomatoes in it. And these are so gorgeous, just all of the different color cherry tomatoes. I think it's so pretty. So I have the heat set at about medium to medium high, and we're just gonna let this cook down slowly. I'm adding salt and pepper to this for right now. And then I'm just gonna toss everything a little bit to make sure all of the tomatoes are coated in oil and the salt and pepper. And then we're just gonna let it sit like so until all of your cherry tomatoes start popping. And they're not gonna pop and splatter you. They're just gonna kind of split and release their juices, as you see here. And they just get prettier and prettier as it goes on. Just wait till the end. The sauce is so beautiful. So now I'm adding about 2 teaspoons of sugar to the pan. And then again, I'm just gonna toss it all together to get everything mixed through. And we're just gonna let it sit again, and we're gonna let it keep cooking down until it thickens up. So here you can see most of the juices have released into the pan, and I still have it on that medium high. And at this point you can start breaking up your larger tomatoes with your spoon. You can see I have a little bit of a larger tomato in there, and oh, here we go. I'm breaking them up now, and you can already see the sauce has thickened up quite a bit. And to check whenever your sauce is ready, you're going to scrape your spoon through the sauce, and if the sauce comes back together and closes that gap where you scraped it, it's not ready yet. So a little bit later on, I'll scrape that and check the thickness, and it'll be ready to go. So here I am, just breaking them up, letting everything cook down, and yeah, it looks like it's getting close here. It's still thickening up a little bit, but it's pretty close. And obviously the skins of the cherry tomatoes are still in here. They do not bother us at all. They just kind of cook in with the sauce, and cherry tomato skins for the most part are super tender. Oh, here we're really cooked down here. So I decided to start grating in my fresh garlic. Now you can use dry garlic, you can use minced garlic from a jar, just whatever you want. I like to grate mine in. You can chop it up. This method just gets it as small as possible for me, so it really moves throughout the sauce and flavors everything pretty evenly. So now I'm just stirring it up. It is so close here. It's probably ready right about now. So I'm gonna scrape it in a minute, and you'll be able to see, like, you can see that divot in the middle where that sauce isn't coming back together. It's ready at this point. I probably waited a tad too long. I probably let it cook down just a tad too long. So at this point right here, you're pretty much ready. All right, so I'm at the point now where I'm going to test this sauce. You see how it doesn't come back together super quick? That means the sauce is ready to go. So I'm just kind of stirring it up. At this point, I turn the heat down all the way to low. And it takes a minute for it to stop simmering. That's why I say this, I might have let the sauce go a bit too long. So here's a little bit of a different thing. I am adding a few pinches of baking powder to the sauce. Now you're not going to taste this in the sauce, but if you look really close, you can see it after I add it. It's kind of fizzing a little bit in there, which is fine. Like I said, you're not going to taste it. I probably added about 3 or 4 pinches in there. And then just stirred it around. Now we're doing this because we are going to be adding some cream to the sauce, and the baking powder keeps the cream from curdling. So it shouldn't curdle, but it's kind of a precaution too, because if you are preserving this, whenever you reheat it, that cream is going to stay the same as it was before you froze it. And obviously now we're adding some fresh basil, which is one of my favorite herbs. And again, you can use dry basil for this if you have any saved. I have tons of preserved dry basil, but I also have tons of fresh right now still too. So I just threw in a handful of fresh basil leaves. And now we're to the point, our heat is on the lowest setting, and we are gonna start adding the cream. So for this heaping 4 cups of sauce, I added a little bit under a half a cup of cream. And when I say cream, I mean heavy cream. You can also use half and half for this as well, and just kind of adjust it to your taste. Maybe start with a quarter of a cup and then just taste it and then see where you are, how you like it. Here we go. Oh, and the cream is so delicious. And then once you stir this all up, it turns this beautiful, like orangish, pinkish color. So pretty. So you're just gonna mix all this all the way through, and you're just basically letting that cream heat through and letting everything meld together. And at this point, whenever everything's kind of heated all the way through, take it off the heat and let it kind of cool about to room temperature. And then you can put it in a Ziploc bag and store it flat in the freezer, which takes up hardly any space, especially when you're storing it flat. And then you'll be able to use this whenever there are no ripe tomatoes, whenever we're out of season, and it'll kind of bring you back to summer with that basil and the tomatoes. It's so good, and the taste of this is so sweet and creamy. It's delicious. So here I am. I just showed you guys draining my pasta, and again, I made that heaping 4 cups of sauce, and I accidentally made a whole pound of pasta. I'm trying to show you here that I leave a little bit of the cooking water in the pan, and that just helps the sauce stick to the pasta. And whenever you see my pan here in a minute, you're going to see that ring around the top. That's just from my salt and hard water, so everything's fine here. Yeah, so now you just add everything to your pasta, stir it around, and you'll be able to serve it. And so when I show you the pasta at the end, it's going to look like there's not a lot of sauce on there because of the ratios I messed up. But this is so good, and it's so pretty too. And this pasta, I really like the look of it. I don't know how to say it. I'll post it on here and tell you what it is, but I just get it at Walmart, and I just think it's so cute with this. So I had this shot all set up so I could show you mixing everything together, and I didn't hit the record button, so you'll see an after shot. There we go. That's everything mixed together. Again, when you make this, it's going to be a bit more saucy than this, because that pasta is going to soak up some of that sauce as well. But I just served this up with a simple salad. Those are the tomatoes in my salad are the ones I picked from the garden that were a little bit bigger tomatoes, and I just serve it up like this, top it with some fresh Parmesan cheese, and it was so good. And especially if you freeze this, you're gonna love pulling this out of the freezer in the dead of winter and just getting that taste of summer. So I hope you guys enjoyed this, and if you try it, please let me know. And if you like this video, hit the like button and please subscribe, and I will see you next time. Bye.